This week's African Vibe may just be the one that gets me cancelled. Why do I say that? Because of the subject matter. It's something that really disturbs me. Every time Africans or black people want to talk about the transatlantic slave trade, we're told, oh, it happened so long ago, forget it and move on. Yet Jewish people are not told the same thing when they want to talk about the Holocaust. Don't get me wrong, the Holocaust was wrong. It was demonic. It was horrific. It should never have happened, and we should never forget it. The same way with the transatlantic slave trade. It should never have happened. It was horrific. It was demonic, and we should not forget it. We should not be told to move on. The UK celebrate their war heroes on Poppy Day, where they remember their ancestors. But when black people want to remember theirs, we're told to forget it. Why is that? Who decides what is valid to be remembered and what's not valid to be remembered? That transatlantic slave trade still affects Africans today because it's because of that slave trade that so many Africans were displaced and ended up in the Caribbean, the Americas, Europe, and they don't know their roots. Even in Africa itself, it's still affecting us because when we were colonized and we gained that independence and freedom, we were not allowed to develop on our own means. And any African president like Kwame Nkrumah, Thomas Sankara, and Patrice Lumumba were killed when they tried to fight for Africa according to how they thought Africans should run our own countries. Up to now, Africans are not allowed to really be who they are. Imagine this, right? Somebody comes into your home, they rape you, they cut off your limbs, they control you, they steal your family heirlooms, they take everything. They tell you how to live in your own house. Then eventually you make them leave your house. But after they leave, they sit somewhere and decide, you know what, we're going to share this house amongst ourselves. We take this part, we take this part. But eventually you say, no, let us decide for ourselves. They don't like it. But it's okay, you know what we'll do? We'll give you loans, we'll give you grants, we'll give you aid to fix the mess that we have created. Then there's no sense in that. Europe colonized Africa, then you turn around and you give us loans via the IMF and the World Bank, and they come with conditions and terms that suit you. And then when we want to talk about it, you tell us we should forget it. I'm sorry, but we should not forget it. You know, it's not that we need to hold on to the pain. That's not about that. But it's about knowledge. It's about knowing what went down. It's about not letting it happen again. The same way we learn about William the Conqueror or Henry VIII as history, we should also learn about what Europe did to Africa. The same way we learn about the Jewish Holocaust, we should learn about what Europe did to Africa. We should not be told, move on and forget it. That is rude, it's insensitive, and it's just wrong. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. Why should we be told to forget it? Yes, it happened a long time ago, but like I said, we are still feeling the effects now by those who are displaced and African countries who were suffering the repercussions. Africa was never allowed to develop according to how it should have developed. If Africa had not been colonized, who knows what it would be today? But you colonized us, you divided us, you create countries, you put different ethnic groups together, you made us try to be Europeans, and we were never allowed to be ourselves. So for you to tell us to stop talking about the transatlantic slave trade, it's rude. Please stop doing that. Let us remember our ancestors. Let us remember our history. And yes, there's more to African history than the slave trade. We were kings, we were empires. And so we must learn all the history, who we were before Europe came and ruined our system. Because up to now, we're still feeling it. And for me, this is a very, very sensitive issue. But hey, it may get me cancelled, but I just had to talk about it. Join me next week for more African Vibes.